we're going to be having Faith Olinga. She works at Cooperative Bank, and she used to work at Amazon as well. So today, she's going to be doing a presentation on exploiting cloud misconfigurations through AWS flAWS, the flAWS lab. So without further ado, I'd just like to welcome her onto the stage to begin with the session. By the way, this is our second this is actually her second session, because the session that she had held a couple of weeks back. So we are really looking forward to getting to know more about exploiting cloud misconfigurations. So welcome, Faith.
Okay, thank you, Robert, and hi everyone. I hope your week has been good and it has ended well. But if it hasn't, I also hope that the session will probably make it lighter. Yeah, as Robert has said, my name is Faith Olinga. I am a solutions architect at Cooperative Bank of Kenya, and initially I was at Amazon. I was an intern there under the cloud support team. Yeah, and I'd like to share more knowledge on cloud because I have grounded knowledge, especially on the security aspect. Yeah, so from the last session we had, I went into the theoretical aspect of cloud security and just compared what AWS offers, what Microsoft offers in Azure. Yeah, because those are the ones I have interacted with. We didn't go into GCP, the one for Google, but ideally we looked at an overall angle of what cloud security is all about. And I remember I mentioned the labs that you guys can take up and practice on, and one of them was the one called AWS flAWS. So AWS flAWS is a lab created by someone called Scott Piper, and it's a vulnerable cloud environment that, I'm trying to not repeat the word cloud. It's a vulnerable environment that he created under AWS, which you can now be able to practice with. And the beauty of it is he created it a couple of years back, but still you can be able to access it right now and practice it on your own machine or on your own device. Yeah, so I think we can just dive in. Yeah, you'll just follow through. It will be a hands-on session. If there's anyone who can also practice on their end, it will be nice. So I'm not sure if following will be easy because we are going to interact with the AWS console, the CLI, the Linux terminal, and what else? Yeah, majorly those ones. So if you have a Linux machine and if you have an AWS account, you will be at a greater advantage, but you can just follow through and then go try it out later. There are also guys who have written articles on it on Medium. I also have an article on the same, though. Yeah, for my approach, I was trying to make it different, coming from the background of being an architect and being in the cloud as well. So it was more of explaining what does this service do, why is it needed in this section, and then now you go into the commands. It's not just finding a vulnerability and fixing it or capturing a flag. Yeah, but we're going to dive into that right now. So we're majorly going to be capturing flags in this lab, and it has like 6 levels. Let me share my screen.
Faith, can I interrupt you a bit?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, guys, AP Plus vouchers are there to be won. So make sure to be active. But the criteria that we're going to be using is we're going to be spinning the wheel at the end of the session. So while we are nearing the end of the session, you're just going to drop your handle at the chat, and we'll copy and use that. Yeah. Enter.
Okay. I don't know if you can see my. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's cubes. It's cubes. I had made a mistake there. So make sure to drop your handle at the chat while we near the end of the session. So yeah, you can proceed, Faith.
Okay. I believe you are done, or am I interrupting something still?
No. I'm done.
Okay. Sawa sawa. So, can you guys see my screen right now?
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Okay. Yeah, so this is it. Okay, I just want to walk you from the start. So you just come to your browser and you type AWS flows. And then now from here, actually what you'll notice, there are two labs. There's the first one, flows.cloud, and then there's the second one, flows2.cloud. So if you are beginning, it's better to start off with the first one, flAWS.cloud, and then now you can pick the second one after that one. So this second one, it has both the attacker side and the defender side, but the initial one that we're going to look at today only has the attacker side. Yeah, so you see there are the official sites, and then there are also people who have written articles on it. So you can also just go through it if you want to get familiar with it. Yeah, so if I click there, then now it will lead me. Let me just open it afresh and close this one. So as you can see here, it tells you welcome to FLAWS challenge. You see the way it's written, FL and then AWS. Yeah, I think it was just a way of him trying to make it fancy, if I'd say that. And then now it tells you, through a series of levels, you learn about common mistakes and gotchas when using Amazon Web Services. No SQL injections, buffer overflows, or many other vulnerabilities that you may have seen before. Because over here, it's like you are shifting now to what a vulnerability in the cloud could potentially look like. And it's not just the normal being able to access a query and seeing, let's say, how it has been, like how maybe the code format looks and being able to find a vulnerability there. No, this is you now looking into AWS services and how you can compromise them. Okay, from an attacker's perspective. Yeah. So when I come down here, this is now level 1. So this level is buckets of fun. When they say buckets, they're talking about S3. S3 is the storage mechanism for AWS. You see the way we have like file storage in, let's say, your computer. So in AWS, they have something called S3. So S3 is for object storage. Okay, there is file storage, object storage. So this is now for object storage. And S3 can also be used when you are hosting your website. So instead of running it on a traditional server, you just come and host it in a bucket in AWS, and then now it can be accessible by anyone over the internet. I don't know if you have ever searched a website and then as you're looking at the URL, as it keeps loading, you see back, okay, there on the URL section, it's like it has written S3 US East 1, something like that. Like here on this section, you find it has written US East 1 and then S3, and then you wonder, this is not the domain that you had typed into your browser while searching. So it's like that is where it's going to retrieve it from because it has been hosted on an S3 bucket. So in this level, okay, I just opened to show you. So if you want to come and learn more about S3, you can just come and search S3 buckets or AWS S3, and then it will bring you to this page. I believe this is the official documentation. No, it's not the official documentation, but it's just a way of you being able to know the overview, even as you search. But if you want a deep dive on it, you can also come and type AWS docs. Although you need to be careful with this because you can get into a rabbit hole because AWS Docs is so, it has so much information and so many links. You might find yourself clicking one, it leads you to the next, and then you forget what you are looking for initially. So, okay, let it open. yeah, so over here, let me pick it. Okay, it's not, so let me just type it, S3. So when I type that, it will now bring me the farmed up documentation of what S3 bucket is all about. But okay, these are things you can just look at in your own free time. So we can come back to what we're dealing with in this level, the first level. So it tells us in this level, buckets of FAD, you see if you can find the first subdomain. And if you want a hint, you can go to hint 1. So in this section, okay, first of all, when we're talking about S3 buckets, in as much as they are, okay, you can access the website hosted on an S3 bucket, but you shouldn't be able to access the contents of that bucket if you're accessing it over the internet, because it's like they're allowing you to see their code configurations and like how the website was set up. And that is not, it's wrong, because like that is how you get into someone's system. So when you're creating an S3 bucket on the AWS console, there's a section where you can change if you don't want the contents to be available publicly to everyone. But majorly, it usually comes with default being that the there's a checkbox I wish I could open, but I don't want to deploy something right now that is not related. Yeah, so there's a section of clicking whether it will be publicly accessible or not, and you can find that someone configured it wrongly to be publicly accessible. And then now from there, you are able to retrieve the contents of how probably that website was created or what's inside that S3 bucket. So in this first level, let me just click hint 1. So over here, okay, instead of coming to the hint first, because we're going to get a bit confused, let me open the terminal and then we can just type in the commands and see how it pans out. If anyone has questions at this point, you can raise them. Also, something important to note in cloud is before you begin, let's say like, okay, from an attacker's perspective, before someone even begins infiltrating a system, they understand first what exists, the identities. When I say identities is, let's say, the usernames or the people who are able to access the system, the resources they can access, and the amount of permissions that they have, and which services are exposed. Like let's say now in this case, we find that the S3 bucket is exposed. So what we are going to start with is an NS lookup. NS look, what is it capturing? Capital letters. So NS lookup, we just want to be able to find the IP address of this site. We said it's called flAWS.cloud and it's accessible, okay, because it's just a random website. So I don't have to log into the console to be able to access it. So when I type this, I am able to find, okay, the address is this first one here. So when you look at these IP addresses, this one 52 dot something, they are addresses that are, they are IP addresses that are owned by AWS. So if I want to access, let's say I am going for, okay, let me pick, I believe it's the first one, if I am not mistaken. So from this first one, this one 52.218, avoid the first two. I believe those ones are mine. I'm not sure though, but actually I'm not even supposed to be exposing them. But so this one, address 52.218.237.122. So I want to do reverse lookup on them and just be able to enumerate it further. So from here, I can now do the reverse lookup using the same command, but then now I'll put the IP address instead of the domain name. So when I look at this, you see it gives me the name and I am able to look at okay, when I look at the structure of this name, there is S3 website uswest2.amazon.aws.com. Once you are able to know the region where something is hosted, it's easy for you to be able to get in. Because, okay, now in AWS, there are availability zones and then there are regions. And let's say, okay, the one that is usually known mostly is US East 1. Even last year when they had the outage, I think it's US East 1 that was affected greatly. So in this case, if I'm able to know the region where you have deployed your websites, because I'm now able to get into the server where it's located because it's now in that region. Okay, I don't know if it makes sense up to there. But now when I look at this, I am able to see it's a website hosted on S3 and it's in US West 2. So when I am able to find this, then now I can come and be able to, okay. I believe we are on the right track. So from here, you see they did okay, for them they use the dig, then flAWS.cloud plus multiline plus no all plus answer. So when they put no all answer, it's like, okay, sorry, I think I will have given a different definition, but okay, majorly this command is still for getting the IP address for this site, and we have been able to find it. So, and then now when you see the way for them, okay, when you decode this, 5 in A and then the IP address. This A is usually a type of a DNS record. DNS has, I think, like 5, 6 type. Wait, I think it gets to 5 types of records. There's A, there's AAA, there's CNAME. You can check into that if you are interested. So when they give you a single A, they're telling you that this is an IPv4 address. But if it was 3 A's, it would have been an IPv6 address, and so on. So, and then now from there, you see they did now the reverse DNS, and then they were able to find the region where this website is hosted. And then, so now from there, what we proceed to next is, so we've what they're saying is, side note, not useful for this. All S3 buckets when configured for web hosting are given an AWS domain. You can use to browse to it without setting up your own DNS. In this case, flAWS.cloud can also be visited by going to flAWS.cloud S3 websites. Yeah, they've given us the URL, and then they're telling us what will help you for this level is to know its permissions are a little loose. So we're now going to hint 2. So in hint 2, they're telling us you now know that we have a bucket named flAWS.cloud in US West 2. So you can attempt to browse the bucket by using AWS CLI by running this command. So let us try and see. So let's see what the output will look like. Yeah, so when you look at this output, is there a question? Is there a question, or should I proceed? Okay, I think I'll move on then.
Yes.
Okay. So when you look at, after we have input this command, okay, first of all, I know my assumption is that we are familiar with the Linux terminal, but let me just give an overview as well, because I know probably we have people who are interacting with it for the first time through this presentation. So when you look at these commands, okay, there are these ones that are majorly for networking, like NSLOOKUP and, okay, NSLOOKUP, dig, the ones we have seen up to this point. And then now for AWS, you see, for us to access the site, we are putting the command written AWS S3 ls. Ls is a command for listing files in Linux. So that's why you see the output has a list of a number of files. So S3 ls, and then the name of the website, sorry, which is s3flows.cloud, where we are right now. And then now what follows here is no signed request. When they say no signed request, they mean you are telling you're telling AWS to allow you to get into this site written s3flows.cloud without requiring you to sign in. So they're not asking you for your username or password or anything. You just want to be able to be allowed to access that site without signing in. So that's why we are writing no sign request. And then the region, US West 2. Because now we need to have the region, because AWS can't just go and search globally where all their servers are for what you're looking for. It will be, okay, I don't even think it will return an answer, although I'll have to confirm that, but we have to specify the region. That's why from this initial reverse lookup, we were able to get the region where this website is hosted. And then now when we input this command, what we got is number of hints, index, logo, robots.txt. These are things hosted in this S3 bucket. And then now at the end, you can see there is secrets, dd02c7c.html. Now this is the flag that we were supposed to find in this first level. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if there's anything more. The first level is quite easy, but it gets harder as you progress forward. So here we're being told, finally, you can also just visit the site which lists the files due to the permissions issues on this bucket. Want to know, just upgrade to the next level without running these tools, go to. Okay, we don't want to just move forward. We want to know now, after we have found this secret, what are we supposed to do? So in this case, for you to get to the next level, you have to unlock the secret in that previous level, and then you see to get to the next. So in that case, then, okay, I don't know if someone can attempt to guess what will be needed from this secret, or the guys in attendance.
There was someone with a question. I saw Alex. Alex had raised his hand.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah, it's me. Just to get some clarity on the command that you shared there in the WSS3. So does it mean that this particular bucket is publicly accessible? Because now you are using the no sign request. What if it was a private one? Does it mean that you'll not be able to use this particular command? Or I'm getting it wrong?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Bucket should be accessible. I'm sorry. The website that is hosted on the bucket should be accessible, but you shouldn't be able to access that bucket. Like, you shouldn't be able to see. You get? Okay. I don't know if I'm making sense. Okay. Yes. You are right. It's the website that should be accessible, but the S3 bucket should not be accessible.
So at this particular time in point, is the S3 a public bucket, or is it a private one?
It's a private one, but now, based on the configurations that were done during the creation, it was made to allow anyone to access, because it should be limited to only the people, let's say, in that organization, or the people who are involved with. Okay, let me just say the people in the organization, or the relevant parties.
Okay.
Okay, we can progress. So, is there anyone who wants to try and say what may be needed from this secret? Now that we have found the secret, what may we be needed to do next? Okay. So I'll just move forward then. So once you get this secret, what you are expected to do is to copy it, and then I forgot I'm using the terminal. So once you copy it, and then you come to this site here, and you place the you add it as you add it onto the URL for the site. So it will be like this, and then now you type and see. Then if there's something I'm getting wrong, okay, let me see. Found subdomain. Like there's something I'm doing wrong, but okay, let me see. Something I am getting wrong. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, for now we can just proceed. But ideally, we were supposed to use that secret and add it as a suffix to the website name. So I'm not really sure what I'm getting wrong, but when you go through it again, you can just find out where probably I have missed something. Yeah, so we can now move to
Faith.
Yeah.
That Jamo, Caris, and there was another person who had raised and they had something to say.
Okay.
Can you just use the terminal?
Oh yes. Without using the website?
Yeah, you can maybe use the cat command or use Firefox, then the secret that to open the website directly. Or you use Firefox, then you write that secret. It will open Firefox directly to the website.
Oh, but now I'm not using Firefox. I'm using a browser called Brave.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just sure there's something I'm getting wrong, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. Unless, okay, let me see. Yeah. So the goal was to, okay, I don't know if you have seen that. It was to go back, okay, because initially we had clicked on the hints, and then now the hints were leading us into, you see, like when you look at the URL, you can see it's flAWS.cloud hint 1, and then it leads you now to content of that hint. But now for us to be able to use that secret, we have to remove the hint and just remain with flAWS.cloud, and then now we type the secret there. So it's the actual name of the URL without the hints, and then now you type the secret. So like that, and then now it leads you to level 2. So it tells you, congrats, you found the secret file, and then it tells you where level 2 can now be found. So when you click on level 2, okay, of course, it tells you the lessons learned. On AWS, you can set up S3 buckets with all sorts of permissions and functionalities, including using them to host static files. A number of people accidentally open them with permissions that are too loose. Just like you shouldn't allow directory listings of web servers, you shouldn't allow bucket listings. Yeah, like, okay, so now they're trying to compare it with the normal way that web servers work and now how S3 works. So they tell you examples of this problem: directory listing of S3 bucket of legal robots. Okay, sorry. So here in the section of examples, they are giving you real world scenarios where this has ever happened and it caused an issue. Because you see here, they are naming legal robots and Shopify. So you can click on these links and then you can read on those breaches. Yeah, but okay, we don't want to get into that really. But you can see now, like here, it's under HackerOne and it's a report. So you can go through it and see how was that S3 bucket configured wrongly and what really happened. Yeah. I don't want to get into it, and it's also loading slowly. And then now they're telling you, so how to avoid this mistake. By default, S3 buckets are private and secure when they are created. To allow it to be accessed as a web page, I hit turn on static website hosting and change the bucket policy to allow everyone. S3 get object privileges, which is fine if you plan to publicly host the bucket as a web page. But then to introduce the flow, I change the permissions to add everyone to have list permissions. You see, so like based on the permissions that you're given, like for us, we were able to list the contents of the file. So over here, the person who created this lab intentionally allowed us to be able to change the permission so that everyone can be able to list the contents of the file. So everyone means everyone on the internet. You can also list the files simply by going to this site due to that list permission. So that is what it tells us. And then, so in the next level, it's fairly similar, but now with a bit of a change. And with this, we'll need to use our own AWS account. So I'm going to log into my account, with the free tier. So in this second level, we're now going to get into identity and access management. And over here, we're going to see how a wrong setup under identity, a wrong setup for them allowed us to be able to access their system with our credentials. So let me just open my console. But now, thing is, I already have an IAM account. So I would have loved to show you guys how to create it. What do we do? Okay. So I think I'll just use it and then I'll just show you if you want to set up where you would have been expected to go. So this is my alias, my username, and my password. So ideally, if you are accessing AWS for the first time, when you create your account, you will create a root user account. A root user is like a power user. So when I say that, I mean you have full rights. You can do anything you want. You can, you don't have any restrictions when it comes to permissions based on the first account that you create. But then now you are advised to create another account called an IAM account. So this account is limited based on the number of permissions that it's assigned and what it can do on the system. And now you use your root user account to create this IAM account. And normally, whenever you are expected to do anything, you shouldn't log in with your root user account because you're getting full privilege. And yes, it's your own system, but just as good practice, it's nice when you get used to using an IAM account instead of a root user account, because now you may find yourself later on in a place where you are in a team or even you are in an organization and security is expected. So as good practice, you should even start with your own account to be able to create an IAM user, even though you have a root user account. So from there, I just want to show you first how an IAM account is created, and I'll come to or I can create and delete. Let me see. So over here, My internet is slow. Okay, so let me come and I want to create a user. Actually, this is the last user I had. I need to remove. Oh, I had disabled it, so I can't even use it. This is one I used initially when I was trying to test this lab, but I can just create another one. So, okay. Can I get a suggestion for a name? You can just type it in the chat box. Aurora. Okay. So I'll pick the 3 and just have them one term. Okay, let me pick the first 3 I saw. But okay, those are it's quite long. Aurora hyphen. Oh Jesus. Hey, but that's long. Okay, let me just pick Aurora. It's still okay. So, and then now you can select if you want to provide user access to the AWS Management Console. Yeah, ideally you should. Okay, the best one, what you want your user to do. But for us, we want to use this. We want to create this IAM user and then use their credentials to be able to access someone else's account through the CLI. So it won't even be useful to us here in the console, but just to be safe, let us just check the box. And then, so it tells us now if you want the person to access the console, do you want their password to be auto-generated or should it be a custom password? So if you want it to be a custom password, then you can input the password that you want. If it's auto-generated, it will have generated it for yourself. Then, but even in this case, if it auto-generates the password, the moment you log in for the first time, you are expected to change it. Yeah. Then there's this checkbox again that says users must create a new password at next sign in. So there's this, you can either select the checkbox or remove it. So in that case, the initial password is what they'll use. But now that's also, it's wrong. Yeah, because this thing usually comes up a lot when they say that the password that you got from your manufacturer is the same one that you're using. So it's easy for someone to compromise your system once they access where, let's say, the vault where those passwords are stored. So in this case, let's just tick the box so that when you log in with this IAM user, you'll change the password. Okay, and then we go to the next. So there's adding a user to a group, copying permissions. What is this about? So, okay. When you say copy permissions, you see there are already 2 users here, even though the second one has been disabled. But you see now in the first one, the policies I have attached are admin access and IAM user change password, I think. If I'm not wrong. So if I select copy permissions, it will pick the permissions from the other users and use them as well here. So this would have been helpful if, let's say, it's a company and someone new joins the team and we want them to have, let's say, equal rights. Let's say, okay, maybe it's HR and we want HR to be able to access what do they access? Okay, let's say there is a portal where they configure people's salaries and there's a new team member who has come to join the HR team. So you would want them to have the same rights that these other people in the team have. And let's say, so for example, it's this admin access. So if one person already has admin access, you can just come here and copy that permission so that the new one can also inherit. Yeah, and then there is attached policies directly. So in this one, you can come, you see, this is a list of policies. So you can just search the one you want, or you can come and look under these ones here. So they're quite a number, but based on what you want this person to be able to do. But now for us, okay, what do we even want? Okay, let's just say console access, even though our aim is not even to configure these permissions. It's there's something like console access, really? No. What should I name it? Sync groups to manage users by job function. Okay, I think we can just settle with this because I'm seeing that it makes it so complex, and we're not even going to use this section of attaching policies. So we can just stick to adding a user to the group, and then now. So permission summary. This is one. Oh, so this permission is the one that I have in my first IAM user. So that's why it is appearing here, and I think it will just inherit it because that's the one that exists. And then now when we move forward to creating the user, so we are given the URL for signing in. I want to have this somewhere. Okay, though we won't need it, but as good practice, it will help us. So let me just have it in a Word document. So let me just have all of them here. Like anything that I get that is relevant, I can just copy paste it there. So this is the username. This one will remember. But then now the password. And you know, the thing with this page is once you leave this page, you will never be able to access this password again. So you have to make sure you either copy it and paste it somewhere, or you come and download the CSV file. Okay, or you can do both. So I can click download. Let me just save it there under documents. But also, a simpler way can be copying it. So I can copy it and put it in that document that we just created. So this is the password. But remember, we had said that if you're signing into the console for the first time, you will come and change this password. So you can now go back to the console and return to users list. So when you look at the users, we're going to see 3 users. So there's the one I had, Auth0, flAWS, and then Aurora. Aurora is the one that we have created right now. When I scroll forward, we are going to see password edge, it's 2 minutes. Last sign in, none of them, apart from this second one. And then now, oh, I have this active. I'll have to close it. Okay, but I'll just do it later on. So you see now, the issue with the cloud is once you work on something and you delete, make sure that you have deleted everything attached to it. Yeah, don't forget a volume and then you have deleted, let's say, a server or an instance, an EC2 instance. So in this case, like I've just noticed in flAWS lab user, yes, I disabled it, but my access key ID is still active. So I have to, you see, okay, this is also one way that someone can access your system. Once they get your access key, it's easy for them to get into your console. So it's either I choose to rotate my keys. When I say rotate, I mean creating new ones and getting rid of the old ones, or stopping to use the old ones. So I either choose to rotate, or if I'm not using the IAM user anymore, I choose to delete it entirely with everything associated with it. Yeah. So here, as we have seen, we have been able to create Aurora. So let's just click on it and see what we can find. So when I look at this IAM user, okay, yes, we have been able to create the username and the password, but those ones will help us with accessing the console. But now, because we're using the terminal, we are supposed to come and use and create an access key, because it's the keys that allow you to log in through the terminal. So over here, we come and say, what do we want to use these access keys for? So in our case, it will be command line interface. You plan to use this access key to enable AWS CLI to access your AWS account. But now for us, we want to use it to access someone else's account, because for them, they had not configured there as well. So you have to confirm. Then now move to next. It's usually good practice to put tags on resources you create, so that when you want to access them, it's easier. It's like putting a name. Okay, it's just like a name tag, so that you don't lose your resources. So let's create Aurora. Aurora 1. Create access key. So you see, we've been given an access key and a secret access key. You can download the CSV. Though, okay, I usually prefer having my own document where I am copy pasting them, because I usually feel like it's easy instead of opening a number of documents. Because remember, we have the other one that we have also downloaded. I don't know if there is any question so far. So we pick the secret access key as well, and then bring it here. So we have the access key and the access key ID. Okay. The access key ID and the secret access key, sorry. So we are done. So we have been able to create, and when I come back to my dashboard, I should now be able to see the 3 of them, and then this one should, okay, where is it? I think it's under IAM users. So when I look at Aurora, I should see it has an access key. Yeah, as you can see over here, it has an access key ID. It tells you when it was created and that it has been enabled for console access. So we now come back to our terminal, and now from there, for us to be able to use the IAM user that we have created, we use the command AWS configure, and then, okay, so we are configuring a profile, and this profile will be called flAWS. Oh, something I've also forgotten to mention is, because this is my terminal, for me to be able to use AWS as a command, because normally when you're using Linux doesn't know that AWS is a command. So what you have to do is you have to come to their website and then download AWS CLI, so that you can be able to use it on your own terminal. So you just come here, select AWS CLI. That's why I'm able to like write AWS as the first section of a command before putting even the other Linux commands that we are aware of. So when you come, okay, you can click on getting started with the AWS CLI. And then now from here, you can look at the documentation. It's supposed to be somewhere down here. Okay, I'm not able to see it, but oh, it's here. I think it's here. So here it is. CLI install instructions. So you pick if it's Linux, if it's Mac or Windows, and then now this is the command that you will use on your terminal to now download. Sudo is because you want more of, let me call it admin privileges, because sudo is like the way I was mentioning root under AWS. So in sudo you have full rights to be able to install anything, and for you to even be able to install, it's needed because you can't just install anything if you are, let's say, a normal user. So you need to have more rights to be able to install applications or anything that you need for the terminal. So you can just follow that the instructions and then install it, and after installing you come and input AWS update to confirm that you have, like, okay, there's usually the command called AWS hyphen version. So that one helps you to confirm that it has installed, and then update for anything that may need changing. Probably you have not gotten the latest version or something. Yeah, so you can use update under that section. Okay, now we can come back to what we were doing. So we had gotten the access key ID and the access key itself. So this is the access key ID. And now come and put it here. And then now the secret access key is the one here, below it. Okay, say region. Okay, can just keep that because it has already told us it's US West 2, or we can choose to put it, but it doesn't matter really. Format also doesn't matter because we don't really need it here. So as you can see, we have been able to put the access key ID and the access key. So it's like we have been able to log into our AWS account through the terminal. So we can do whatever we want on our account through this terminal now, but we want to use it to access someone else's account. So from there, we can now come and type STS get color identity. So here, okay, let's see first what the output will look like. STS is usually a way of getting tokens that you can use for a short time. But you see, when we use that command, get color identity profile flAWS, we have been able to get the account ID. Remember, we only had the we have been able to create the IAM user, and we have used the access key and the access key and the secret the access key ID and the secret access key to be able to log into our account. But then now from there, we are able to find the account number because we okay, it's like once you have an identity, you can be able to get tokens to allow you to now access more information. And in that case, we have been able to access the account number. Yeah, and you can see it's here, 590,183,817. I don't know if I've lost people up to this point. Okay, anyone has a question? Where were we again? Okay, we are in level 2. Yeah, is there anyone with a question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
James, you can speak.
Hey everyone, am I audible?
Yes.
So I'm getting confused between S3 and EC2. What exactly is the difference?
Okay, so EC2 is like the normal server that we know of, But now, so when you go to AWS, a server is known as an EC2 instance, more or less, if I could call it that. And okay, from what we know, everything should run in an EC2 instance. But for S3, it's for storage. Like the way, let's say on your local machine, on your laptop, you store files in folders. So in the case of cloud, they have a storage where they store objects. And objects in this case could be, let's say, the artifacts of what you're building. It could be a website. It could even be images, just random images. So in that case, you can come and now store them in S3. S3, okay, they usually call them S3 buckets. So you can come and store your things in S3 buckets. And S3 buckets are also used for website hosting. So like instead of now hosting it on your traditional server, you come and host it in an S3 bucket, and you have the contents of the backend, the front end, and so on, but you shouldn't allow people to access. So we were looking at how when you don't configure your permissions well, when you're creating the S3 bucket, you are able to allow anyone in the internet to access what you had used to build your system, like to build the website, for instance. And okay, if you want to dive deeper into what S3 is all about, you can come and, okay, I don't know if up to there I've answered your question, first of all.
I just mostly wanted to know the difference between the two.
Oh, okay, sawa. So that's for storage, and the other one is compute. Actually, when you look at the cloud, the things that usually stand out are compute, storage, and now networking. Okay, databases come, yes, but databases are not the primary focus really, because databases are still like storage more or less, but it's majorly compute, networking, and storage. And compute, it's just the normal, like the way we know, okay, there's a server needs to connect and transfer data. For you to transfer data, it needs the network. Like just the way we know the normal things to communicate when it comes to technology. So for the server to communicate, it needs the network. And if something occurs on the front end, for example, it has to be stored somewhere. So that's where storage comes in that instance. Yeah, but those are the major things to look at when you think of cloud. But if you want to have more knowledge on the same, you can come to this section, AWS Docs, and then you just search S3. Then it will bring you now new sections that you can read on the same. Yeah, but now this one gives you a deep dive. Actually, when you look at the history of how AWS started, I think S3 was their first service, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, because people now notice they can store things without having them on their local machine. Because we all know the issue of storage even on your phone. So yeah, I think this was the first service, and then now EC2 came after that. But something interesting to note is, okay, in as much as, yes, when you are creating anything in AWS, it's like you start with the server, now the EC2 instance, but then you can stop an instance and still have the contents that you stored in the S3 bucket. Yeah, but okay, majorly when you're starting, you start off from the EC2 section, but you can still host the bucket even when you have stopped an instance, because even in this site that we are looking at, this lab, I believe this person stopped the instances, but S3 is still running. That's why we are still able to access it, because it's the, okay, I think it uses very few cents. It does not consume a lot of money because it's something that you pay as you go, like as time increases. But then now for you to spin up a server, that is a lot of money already. Yeah, so that's why you are usually told, once you finish working on something, make sure that you close it immediately. Most if it's involving EC2 instances and things like cloud formation or key management, the ones for encryption. So you look at the services that cost a lot of money and make sure that once you're done, you close. Because if you forget, you will be billed and you will be so surprised later on. So you just need to be careful. I don't know where we were, but yeah, we had created the IAM user and then we had found out the account number. So we can come back to what this level 2 says, and it says that this is level 2. The next level is fairly similar, so we can click here. You need your own AWS key and you need to use AWS CLI. Similar to the first level, you can discover that subdomain is hosted as an S3 bucket with the name. Level 2, okay, its permissions are true loose, but you need your own AWS account to see what's inside. Okay, so that's what we have done. So for this one, you see now the way we have been able to find the account ID. So that account ID is what we're supposed to come and populate it here where it's written in your account. So what we were doing is, okay, we were able to log in using the AWS configure command, and then now we have been able to find the account ID. So we are coming to now put it here, and let's see what we are going to find. Okay, is there anyone with a question or a suggestion, or I don't know, anything random?
Yeah, guys, feel free to ask any question, even if you are a beginner. Probably don't know what cloud is. Just feel free. Faith is here to. Yeah, Talemo John.
I have a question. Greetings to all. By the way, I think I came in late, and I wanted a brief intro on how you got here, because I'm not so familiar with AWS.
Okay. Sawa. So we are looking at a lab. Okay, it's a hands-on session, but we had one initially that was more theoretical, just to show the services involved in cloud security. And one of the cloud providers we mentioned was AWS. So this is the second session, and we are having a hands-on approach. So under this hands-on approach, we are looking at a lab that was created by someone a while ago. So it's known as AWS flAWS. Yeah, and it has a number of levels. So, and under it, we are able to see how security in the cloud is different, and also the sessions that are similar to how we know security generally. So in this one, we are capturing flags as we progress, but then now it's more of we are using the AWS console and also the terminal to be able to find the vulnerabilities and to see what was done wrongly that allowed us to gain access. Yeah, so we have done the first section, and in the first section, we had a bucket. A bucket is a place for storing, let's say, your files on the cloud, and also being able to host websites. So in this case, we have been able to access the contents of our website that was public, but then now we notice that the permissions given allowed anyone to be able to list the contents of the file, which was wrong. And now from that section, we were able to find our first flag. It was under that list. And then now from that first flag, we have been able to log into the second section. But now, as we journey on in these labs, we are able to get hints and also explanations on why the levels have been configured that way and how that gives someone an attack surface. Yeah, so, I don't know if I have answered. If it's sufficient, Ama, you have follow-up questions.
I guess maybe he's cool with that, right, John? Yeah, probably he's cool with it. So Hussein had a question. I see he's raising up his hand.
Greetings all. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so my question to the presenter at the end of the configuration. Okay, let's go back to the terminal.
I've not heard you well. The last thing you've said at the end of the configuration.
Can you go back to the terminal so I can raise my question?
I don't know if it's me who was an issue.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
To the command line instance where we type in our command for configuration. My question is from the terminal. We have written a command to configure our, I think our bucket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we paste account ID plus secret keys. But you mentioned something like when we printed our profile details, I saw we got a different account key, and we mentioned something.
Okay, let me just open that. Yeah. You mean this first one? This one?
Yes. You see, can you go back to the terminal? Sorry.
Terminal. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's one. As we see, when we said we are going to configure, we were asking about access key ID, and we pasted it as long as secret access key. Then when you came to print a profile FLAWS, we got a user ID and our account plus our username Aurora. And I remember you mentioned something like this user ID is to be used like a one-time key, something like that. Am I correct? If I got you well.
No, it was the password. Sorry, it was the password. It was not the access key.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the password for the console. But actually, you have pointed something that I had not mentioned. You see, okay, the user ID. Yeah, I had not even seen it. It's different. Okay, I don't know if so.
You get access key ID are two different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So, I think there's something I'm getting wrong. The config profile could not be found. Why? Alright, type it out. I don't know what I'm doing wrongly. Because ideally, it should be able. Because this command should work, but it looks like I'm capturing something wrongly. But the account ID is correct. I think this profile could not be found. Okay, let us try and debug and see what could be the issue. Just use ChatGPT and see what it tells me. this here on level 2. I'm just trying to get a quick fix because I know if I decide to troubleshoot it fully, it could take some time. But okay, let's see. So it says profile called to exist in either configure credentials. Check which profile exists.
I think you can try using the profile name after the dash profile.
Profile after dash profile.
Yes, use the profile name Aurora instead of the ID.
Oh, okay. I think you are right. Okay, let's see. Argument subcommand found invalid
You
choice.
use both Aurora and ID. Just you need to remove the 59.
One of them.
Yeah.
Unknown options. Okay, let's do
It will
this.
be dash profile, then Aurora.
Oh, profile then. Oh, okay. So Aurora. No. Okay, let's do. Invalid choice. I don't know why they are. Oh, okay. Let me see. I think. Okay, let me put some quotation marks and see. Because you know that's not a command. But why? Okay, let me see. So this is okay. So this is AK5, but when I look here, Z75. Actually, I'm not even seeing these credentials here. Oh, but it's here. Session token, access key ID. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting these issues right now. Does not exist on your machine. Actually, how are this? Okay. So what does that mean? So when you run CLI correctly says could not be found. The next, why are you with a profile?
So
Yeah.
I see from the chat. It was that the profile name is flAWS, not Aurora. So I don't know if that can help.
Okay, yeah, it can, but okay, let's see if it will. Close. There's something I'm getting wrong and I can't understand what it is. Or, okay, I think where we can even get more help is from the articles. Hey, I'm sorry guys. I don't know what's going on. Because my assumption is I'm doing it correctly. So, okay, let's pick on this one and see. So we are in level 2. Okay. User account.
There's a command that James has sent from the chat. I don't know if it can probably help you with brainstorming.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, does this command end here? Oh, profile flows. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hi. An error card access denied when calling list objects v2 operation. This is interesting. Because now we were supposed to ascertain that access is not denied. S3 level 2 flows.cloud. It should allow access. I don't know why it's denying. Or probably he came back and changed. Because this is something that was configured a number of years ago. But I did it a couple of weeks back and it worked well. So your account. why would it say when calling the list object operation access denied? Yeah, I'm tempted to say that they have changed the configuration, but let me see. Because actually it had worked, and even when I look at this documentation, it's the same command. User account. Configure profile flows. Wait, let me see. Yeah, it was profile flows. Or is Yo. Don't have permission to list. This means the closed profile is not the one using level 2, really. I feel like ChatGPT is misleading me, but I think if anyone has a random question they want to ask that isn't even related to this, we can tackle it as I try to fix this issue. No, but it should be flows. Access denied.
I see Bura has a question. Or probably she wants to chip in.
Okay.
Feel free to talk. Yambura. Or probably she raised her hand. Mistake. I guess she could have raised her hand by mistake. But,
Hi, Faith.
Hi.
Could you try and list your profiles? Because I'm seeing the issue is on the part of profiles.
Okay. it like that? Yeah, okay. I had typed it here. And on listing, I can actually see it because it's this one for ZV5. Okay, let me confirm. AKIA, this one that ends with ZV5. So if I come up here, yeah, AKI STNS MP3. Yeah, it's this one here. Secret access key. But what I'm getting is, it looks like this session token is only available for this one. It's not available for ours. And when I check, where is it again? AIDAY. This is the case of it was working, now it's not. How it was working in someone's machine and then now it's not.
I see that there are a couple of guys who are trying to help you out in the chat.
Okay.
You think the insights probably would be great.
I appreciate.
Can it be like you have not allowed the S3 listing of IAM user?
Oh. Wow, okay. So let me check. Under the permissions. Let me confirm first the ones I had given to FLAWS. Don't know if I'll be able to even see anything related to that here. Because FLAWS is actually a replica of what we are doing. Oh yeah, S3 read-only access. EC2 full access. And the way I had assumed saying that we are not going to use. Okay. Oh, it does not. Okay. I get it. Okay, so let me try. No permission selected. Let's attach policies directly. So we come to S3 full access. Here it is. Okay, let's try first and see. Wow. Thank you so much. I will have been stuck here. Yeah, it has worked. Oh. Hey, I think I was so caught up in... but thank you. Yes, yeah, we are all learning, so I'm not just the one instructing. I'm also learning a lot. Yeah, and thank you for also helping out. Yeah, so we have been able to see the secret for this second level, and here it is. So what we are supposed to do is to now come back to level 2. And okay, I want to remove this hint because I've noticed it's hints that are preventing us from going to the next levels. So I come and Yeah. Thank you so much. So at least we are able to progress now to level 3. But I'll have to have a mental note that I need to come back and close the IAM users, though I think we are going to use it somewhere else as we move forward. Yeah. But okay, so as we move to level 3, so it tells us that the lesson learned here is similar to opening permissions to everyone. People accidentally open permissions to any authenticated AWS user. Yeah, and also something that I've also learned, that I've remembered as we were even debugging that is, in as much as you're creating a user and you want them to use their credentials to log into, to log into your account, yes, but to be able to view the files or to be able to view the S3 content of another user, you should also allow yourself to be able to have the permission to have S3 full access. Yeah. So based on the permissions that you have assigned to yourself and what you are now able to do in someone else's account. So they're telling us that they might mistakenly think this will only be users of the account, which when in fact it means anyone that has an AWS account. So examples of this problem: open permissions for authenticated AWS user on Shopify. So here under this section of example, you are able to go and see a breach that occurred in real life and the report that was written about it. So in order to avoid the mistake, you only open permissions to specific users. So you see here they're telling us that, can I expand? Yeah. So this is a screenshot of how someone had set up, how, let's say, the creator of this lab, Scott Piper, set up the bucket when inside their console when they were creating this lab. So they deliberately made any authenticated user to be able to log in. You know, when you say any authenticated user, probably for them they just assume that means someone who has the rightful permission to access. But then now we are coming to realize that it means anyone, like totally anyone as long as you have an access key ID and an access key and a secret access key. So yeah, this was the problem, because it means anyone that uses AWS, not just users in your account. Yeah, so okay, we can move. You see, they're telling us this screenshot is from the console in 2017, and the setting can no longer be set in the web console, but the SDK and third-party tools sometimes allow it. Yeah, so you also need to know what is it that is being able to access your console and what privileges have you assigned that can give it more permissions which expose you to vulnerabilities. So we've been told the next level is fairly similar with a slight key. Maybe you'll find something that will let you list what other buckets are. So in the next one, we are going to look at now secret key exposure. You see, the way I was saying that you need to rotate your keys if you feel that they have been compromised or someone has accessed them. Actually, just in general, yes, you need to rotate your keys. Now I'm realizing the question that had been raised. So, to prevent compromise, you need to keep on changing, but also, let's just get into it. I feel like I'll contradict myself more. But probably I didn't answer the question sufficiently, but yes, because I remember that time we were talking about a password for console access and an access key ID for CLI access. So to prevent compromise, yes, you need to rotate your keys, but a key is something that you can reuse. Yeah, you can reuse to access your console again. But then now the password we had created for accessing the console, we say that because it's an auto-generated password, you need to make sure that the first time you're logging in, you change it, because that's how someone can be able to access your system. So there's an access key ID and there's a password. Yeah, they're two very different things. So we can now move on to this next one. So in this next one, we're going to realize that there's someone who did a git commit. They found out that they had exposed key accidentally. keys accidentally, and then now they came to do another commit to remove. But then now, you know, in Git, based on the history, it can be able to fetch what you had committed initially. So now the best practice is rotate your keys, so that if I'm able to come and access the keys that you had committed initially, I can't access your system because you have changed and moved to a new set of keys. Yeah, so okay, here, like the first level, you should have figured out how to list the files. The directory, you can see that listing in this bucket is open to everyone. Okay, so here they're telling us this S3 bucket has a .git file. There are probably interesting things in it. Download this whole S3 bucket using this command. Okay, so let's download it and see. See. I hope this one won't bring a problem. It's taking time. Okay, so we have been able to download the content. The content buckets. I don't know if it's done. Okay, it's still finishing. So from there, we'll also use, you see the similar command we have done in level 2, the one that was bringing us issues. We're going to use the similar command to be able to list the, okay, the files now. So in that case, because you see now this one is reading level 2, we have to change this section to level 3, and that's tag. Let's just confirm. So from here we can see it's okay. Let's start from here. I'll remove that last dot, so it's here. Let's see. So and then now I come. I don't want it to capture something wrong. So it's from there onwards up to here. So I'll have to go back up to. The problem with using the terminal is you can't just skip steps and go back. You have to go back entirely. So let's see what the output looks like. Okay, so now when you look at this, you see here they haven't put the flag or the secrets. What they have given us is the git this. So we are supposed to check it out and see what we are going to find. And here it tells us it has a .git file. So we can move on to the next session. So in this next section, now we look at the logs by typing git log. So here under git log, let's see what we'll find. You see, we are finding 2 commits. So this one, and then first one who committed said, oops, I accidentally added something I shouldn't have. Then now there's this first commit. So we are supposed to check out both of them and see what they entail, because now from there we'll be able to get more information. So we can try out, let's try the first one, git checkout. Let's see what we are going to get. Okay, so you are in detached headset, you can look around commit them, and you can discard any commit you make in this set without impacting any branches. If you want to create a new branch, you may do so now or later, or do this operation with git switch. Head is now okay. So let's see what the other one will give us. This one isn't giving us really much information. What am I doing? Okay. Tracking tree file should be written by checkout. What do you mean? Move or remove them before you switch branches. Aborting. Hey. Okay. Now going back. Checkout and then shouldn't be doing this.
I think it's okay. You can see the access keys.txt.
Oh, okay. So, okay, you know, something interesting is, initially I got, like, I will get a list of files, and then now it comes to my own local directory, and then now from there, I now get the content. So my assumption was it will be the same. This was simple. Okay, so now we have secret access key and the secret access key ID. So what we do here, see the way we have been using AWS configure, we use, so these are like the access key ID and the secret access key for now logging into an account using the profile. So we can now do configure profile, and now close. So we now use this. Okay, then there is so okay, now that we have been able to, okay, ideally it's like we have logged in using the credentials we've been given. So what we are supposed to use them now is to access the website, but I just want to confirm something first. Yes. Okay, it's all the levels. Okay, so this is not even helpful. But so when I come to the next hint, okay, so let's see. It's supposed to lead me to a section where I can log in. Okay, but I believe it has already shown us what we expected to see, because now we are able to get there. Okay, these are like when I use the command cat to now look at the contents of the file that they have given us in this commit. After checking it out, we were able to find the access key ID and the secret access key. And now you see in this case, it has allowed us to be able to list everything. You see all these levels are hosted inside that S3 bucket. So we have been able to list all of them because we have been able to log in with the credentials that they have given us. So ideally, if they know that they have committed something wrongly that they shouldn't have, then they needed to come and rotate this. Okay, when I say rotate, I mean change. So when they create new ones, then we wouldn't have been able to access. But because they did not. Okay. Okay. Because they did not change, so now we have been able to still access. You see, and we have been able to list everything inside there. So we can now move to the next level unless there is a question. I think this level does not need us to input something here. Yeah, because it did not have a secret like the others. Okay. If there is no question, we can move. But you guys can also tell me if you want us to handle them till the end, because we're left with 3. We're left with, there are 6 levels, so we have 4, 5, 6. So you can say if you want us to proceed, or I can leave you to, I don't know, go and try tackling the rest. The decision is up to you, because I see time is spent. Yeah, it's almost 2 hours. So yeah, you can tell me. Or probably Isaiah, you can deliberate.
Yeah, so probably you can deliberate. I think we can decide to, and that it majorly depends with you as our speaker. But so far, I can say that we've been able to learn quite a lot, especially when we were troubleshooting. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that people have not. I see Alvin is saying proceed.
Okay.
But yeah, it all majorly depends on you, Faith. So you can tell us how you feel about the situation. But so far, so good. I can see that people have really learned a lot.
Okay. So I didn't want to eat up into people's time, but we can proceed. But I'll try and okay. I don't know if I can quicken it, because I can say I quicken it and then we now find areas where we are getting stumbling blocks, or we now get the ones for troubleshooting like the other one. But anyway, let's move on. Yeah, because I'd also, I think I'll be left with guilt if I leave it hanging. So yeah, let us just finish. I feel like I wouldn't have done you guys justice, but okay, we can move on. I'll try and rush it up a bit. Okay, so in level 4, for the next level, oh sorry, here you see they're telling us the lesson slant again. People often leak AWS keys and then try to cover up their mistakes without revoking the keys. You should always revoke any keys or any secrets that could have been leaked or were misplaced. Roll your secrets early and often. Yeah, that's what they also mentioned at some point. And then we have an example of the problem. This is a real world cases that were reported. So you can read on them. Actually, you usually get so much information when you look at the real breaches that have happened. And then now, yeah, so they continue on with it, and then to avoid a mistake, always roll your secrets if you suspect that they were compromised or made public or stored or shared incorrectly. Roll early, roll often. Rolling secrets means that you revoke the keys, i.e. delete them from the AWS account and generate new ones. And also, I know this is something that affects a number of organizations actually. You find that they left the keys in whatever they committed in Git. Okay, or let's say at in GitHub, when you go to look for something public, or even, okay, it's probably it's a big organization, but then now, because they don't have a way of storing their secrets, so now they committed them in whatever they have developed. And that's why you're usually urged to look into having a vault where you can store your secrets to avoid having them publicly. Yeah. So having a vault in AWS, we have AWS Secrets Manager. So you can choose to store them there instead of committing them together with what you are coding or developing. Yeah, that's also another approach. And then, oh yeah, and mostly you find vaults are encrypted, so it's not easy for someone to just break in. And we can now move on to the next level. Get access to the web page running on an EC2 at that location. A snapshot was made of that EC2 shortly after Nginx was set up on it. So they're telling us in this level, we need to get access to our web page running on this EC2 instance. So in this level, we're going to be introduced to something called snapshots. Snapshots are like backups of a volume, just the way you usually have a hard drive. So in this case, you are able to like create another instance. When I say an instance, is a server, like you're able to use the backup you carried from another server and use it to be plugged into another server that you're creating. So now from one EC2 instance, you can create a snapshot. And then now from there, you now come and plug in that volume into a new EC2 instance that you're creating. So in a way, if one is down, the other one can easily pick up based on the snapshot that you captured and how you have now mounted it into your new EC2 instance. So that's what we are going to look into. And you find that at times, these snapshots are not encrypted. And if they're not encrypted, you can carry malware from wherever you got it from. And if it was compromised, then now you bring it to this new instance that you just created. So we're going to look into that. So for that one, let me see. Locating in the list level scribers. Where are we going? We're still in level 4. So yeah, they're giving us a background on what a snapshot can do, how it backs up an EC2 instance. So for that one, we need the account ID, which we can get using the AWS key from the previous level. So here, okay, let's see what this does. I see I've copied it wrongly. Okay, nice. So we have the user ID and the account, and then seeing that command also tells you the name of the account, which in this case is named backup. Backups, the backups this account makes are snapshots of EC2s. Next, we discover the snapshot. So you see here, they have put the owner ID is this, but now for us, we have, okay, let's see if it's the same. Oh, it's the same. I thought it's the one that was 5 something. So under this, we will be able to see. So we see the snapshot and the description. And you can see under it, there's the value, key, storage tier. If it's encrypted, you see it's false. So this is our first point of, okay, it's what an attacker would actually be looking for when they're doing their reconnaissance. So they see encryption, no. Anything else that is leading information here, probably the volume ID and the snapshot ID. They'll be helpful when you get into it more. So moving forward, when I need to just filter the output. Okay, let's try what they're saying. They're saying that we can try and type this command without the owner ID just to see the output, because it will list all volumes, not just this snapshot for this specific account ID. Oh, this one won't work. I need to remove this last section for owner ID. But let's see what will happen. It's not even picking anything. Yeah. And I don't want to clear. Does someone know what you can do to get out of this mode if it's not returning anything? But I don't want to clear what's up here because I may need these access keys. Because I don't want to put ctrl L because it will now give me a new, like the terminal entirely will. Yeah, I won't be able to see anything again.
Control C.
Oh, okay, sorry, thank you. I hope this one gives a response. I don't know why they're not. But anyways, that wasn't even important. We just wanted to see without the ID what we can get. So, moving forward. This one. Now that you know the snapshot ID, you're going to want to mount it. So you'll need to do this in your own AWS account, which you can get for free. So first, we create a volume using the snapshot. Yeah, remember the availability zone was US West 2. And also something else to note, you can't put a snapshot in a different region with where you want to create your EC2 instance. It does not make sense, yeah, because you want to mount it there, so it has to be in the same region. Yeah, and something people easily get wrong is, because sometimes you can be mounting the volume and you wonder why it's not picking up or why it fails. So it's something I've done wrong. This one should be in US West 2. I don't know if I can. Okay, let me see if I can change the region. Oh, but this was the IAM user. Okay, so when we do the snapshot and the EC2 instance, we have to make sure they are in US West 2. US West 2 is Oregon. Because sometimes you can be doing this and then you forgot that you had put your snapshot in Oregon and then you have created your instance in North Virginia. So you wonder why is it that it's not picking or you keep on getting errors, but you remember that the region that you had configured does not match. Yeah, so okay, let's hope. But okay, my assumption is we won't need this IAM user again, but okay, we'll just find out. You guys will remind me if we need it and maybe we encounter an issue later on. So first we create a volume using the snapshot. The snapshot ID from this one is BDCB89. I think it's the same, but anyway, we can just copy and then we see if it will be the same or not. But here on the section of your account, I'll have to put that and change it to flAWS. Okay. So here, what does it say? You are not authorized to perform this operation. Okay, what I think I'm doing wrong, create a volume using the snapshot, then create an EC2 instance. Something I'm doing wrong. I'm calling the create volume. You are not authorized to perform this operation. It's not authorized to perform create volume on resource because no identity-based policy allows EC2 create volume action. I think I'm even in the wrong user. It's describe. It's create. No. Yo. I don't know why profiles.
I think the issue comes up because at the previous level, when you are looking at the when we were looking at the Git stuff, you see we took different access keys.
Yeah. It's not the same.
Yeah, so they are not the same. So I think we need like either to revert or maybe configure the profile afresh.
Okay, so let's log in kwa hiyo yetu tuone. Yeah. Okay, acha tuone kaita change. Is it this one? But even if I change it, I have not given it the permission to create a volume. Okay, anyway, let's see what will happen. This, it doesn't plug you until you finish. Okay, so let's see. Submission. But this account is 5901838. This was 90. Oh, no. Okay, let me see something first. Let volume availability is on. New accounts. ID number. Hey. Should I use now?
Do you check the IAM?
In my console.
Yeah.
And also, I think we'll have to add permissions, a policy for it.
So I'm trying to find which policy exactly.
ECS, the ECS permission.
Yeah.
Aurora. You said ECS.
No, EBS.
EBS. Oh yeah. Hey, why am I even because it's even in the name. Capital.
Faith, I think we can try what Aurora has suggested on the chat. We give full access for EC2 and see if it will also fix the EBS volume problem.
EC2 full access. Oh yeah, because I remember even in the other one we had the one I had created earlier. It had S3 and EC2. So okay, let's see. It's this one. Nice. Thank you so much, guys. Kumbe working as a team. Do you know, I would have been stuck here wondering what is wrong, what? Wow, okay. Yeah, so we have gotten, we have been able to create a volume using the snapshot ID from, you see now, it's like we are getting a snapshot from someone else's account because they have not encrypted it. And now, because they have not encrypted it, we are able to create that volume in our own account. So now that we have created that volume in our own account, we can now come in, mount it on our EC2 instance and do however we please, because now it's like we have their data. Yeah. So we now come to our console. Because remember we logged into our console here. Yeah, here. And we have created now this volume in our console. So we can locate that ID in our console, create the instance, and then mount the volume onto it. So now let's go to the console, and now from there we locate this volume ID. Volumes are found under EC2. Okay, if you're searching, okay, let me try. I don't know if I search volume I'll find, but I know it's usually under EC2. Oh, I can. Okay. Although I wouldn't want to go straight to creating, I want to first of all see what is present. So I search EC2, and then so once I search, I'll see here on the left bar there is, you see here under Elastic Block Store there is volumes. So, okay, I just want to verify if this is the one I've created. See, it is availability zone is correct. It's available, created on 8/7. Today's date? Yeah, it's today. It's today. What else can we see here? It's okay, it's completed, it's not encrypted. Is it managed? False. And then we have the snapshot ID. So now we have been able to confirm that it's in our console, in our account. And then now from there, we create the instance and then we mount it. So we come here to EC2. One of the services I dread is an EC2 instance. An EC2 instance can wipe your card clean. So at the moment I'll finish this, I have to come and remove it immediately. I shouldn't even wait for to get to tomorrow. But if you are creating your account for the first time, something you're usually advised to do is create the account like today at night and then remove it tomorrow morning, because you'll be given around $20 in credit? I'm not wrong. Yeah, you'll be given I think it's $20 because I think I had 140. So you'll be given credit for creating for spinning up an EC2 instance for the first time, and also you'll be given additional $20 in credit if you create an I think it's not AWS Advisor. There's a resource for checking your budget, for tracking your budget. I'm forgetting the name. I don't know if I know it has something to do with advisory. I'm forgetting the name though, but you're given an extra $20. And then now for creating the first account in itself, you're given $100. So if you want $140, spin up an instance, but make sure that next morning you come and you delete. Okay, you stop it and then delete. Yeah. But you see now, kisha the next day jioni ni hivyo. Okay, so we are here to create an instance. Naweza ni suggestia the names. Kama sijui tuende na hiyo Jesus. But okay, you can suggest other names.
FAC Alex had a question.
Yeah, okay.
Just let me just interrupt you.
Mhm.
Your story EC2, like I had a scenario that I created an EC2, then I deleted it afterwards. But I mean, charges kept on coming. Yet I did not have like any other service running at that time. So I don't know. Is there such a scenario that could have hacked the particular prices?
Are you sure you had not attached it to anything?
No.
Like in networks, maybe the VPC, you had connected an internet gateway and then you forgot.
I think could be. Yeah. So
Sometimes, yeah.
So just deleting the EC2 alone does not fix the issue.
Yeah. You need to look at everything else that was attached to it, everything that consumed anything from it, ama that communicated with it, like in and out.
Okay.
And also, I think there are resources that are usually tied to each other in a way that you can't delete one and leave the other. Mostly in networking, like I think you can't delete an internet gateway and leave. I'm forgetting, but I usually know. No, it's something to do with security groups, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so you can't delete one and leave the other, but there are some which you can delete and then you fail to clean up everything that was attached to it. Yeah, so make sure, and also you can come to, there are services here for monitoring. I think hata it's monitor that I'm talking about when unaongezewa $20. Don't know why jina inapotea.
Billing.
Yeah, billing. Yeah, I think it's billing. So jina angalia hata kwangu before we proceed. You know my caps lock ime shift. Capital is small and small is capital.
I think it's AWS budgets.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's budgets. But also for us to monitor, tutakuja tuangalie kwa billing because hapo ndio unaweza ona everything. Alafu unaweza jiwekea quotas whereby ukipita a certain threshold unataka wa kualert ndio usipitishe like credits uko nazo. Because you know the disadvantage is that you have to commit your credit card. So ukipitisha credits wamekupea hapo, they'll start charging you now. So you see, like Mimi, when I created this account, I came and created a zero spend budget so that whenever napitisha $1, it has to alert me. Naona kama hapa sasa for me, I have, okay, nimefikisha kweli? I think nimetumia 0.33. No? Is it 33? Sijui, but I'm pretty sure haijafika $1. So nilieka, naona kama hapo ananiambia okay, focus 0.06 na nilisema the moment tu inapita $1, I should be notified. So ananiambia iko okay because mimi nimeweka a zero spend budget. Nikikuja hapa ku create budget, let me see. You can pick a budget that notifies you once your spend exceeds 0.01. Then 0.01, so 0.01. Okay, create a monthly budget that notifies you if you exceed the budget amount, daily savings plan. So there are a number of them that you can select from. Yeah, but okay, acha tuangalie. But billing is the bigger nini. I thought there's something I want to look for inakupea ni kama inakuonyesha analytics za how. Anyways, hiyo unaweza angalia tu at your own free time, but you can set up the budget ndio ikuwe inakunotify so that you don't exceed the threshold yenye iko set. Okay, what were we even doing? We were creating an instance. Okay, so I come here, you see to So I want to create an instance and mount the volume. You see, like in this case, if I want to delete this instance, I have to, okay, I have to naitwa nini? Hii volume nimeattach, ikuwe detached. Okay, I don't know if I'm wrong, but we'll see time takona delete. Yeah, because I know juu iko attached to a volume, there's something you have to do about the volume umeattach before you come and stop the instance and then delete the instance. So you see now hiyo ni procedural. So hautakuja tu delete alafu uache volumes hapo pending. So I come and launch. I don't think I have any instance running here. Okay, so give me a name that I can call this instance. One time, Munyoro. Okay, acha niweke one time. Ama niweke ya kwa tuko kadi. Okay, inakaa more interesting. So, so tuko kadi. Okay, wacha ni select Ubuntu. So, hii ni kama I am configuring a server. Alafu na decide nataka ikuwe na operating system gani. Nimeipea jina. Alafu what comes next ni okay, instance type inaweza baki tu. Hizi zinakuanga mostly vitu za kama okay, let me just say hardware because it's more of configuration. Hizi T2 micro, T3 micro ni more of the families za AMI images. Okay, AMI ni the machine image. Okay, acha nisiwe confused kupita hapo, but you can just go and research what is AMI. You will see there are different families based on kama ni Linux, kama ni Windows, sizing nini. Haya, alafu hapa hivi kipea. Okay, let me create a new one because I think hii ndo nilitumia initially. I'm not even sure if I stop this thing. So unaona ile shida, you can find you have configured so many pieces that are working together that you delete one and forget others. So what I mean, I need to look into this linked key and see if it's still up there somewhere. So hii niite aje. Okay, niite one time. So create new key pair. Because at some point we are going to SSH because okay. Yeah, we're going to SSH at some point. Let me just leave it at that. That's why we need the key because that is the way of okay, it's a form of encryption. So wacha tuendelee. Naona pia mimi naweza jichanganya. One time. I don't know if it's machine that is misbehaving. Okay. Yeah, so tutatumia .pem because SSH itakuwa easier kushinda PuTTY because PuTTY I'll have to install it first. Ni kama I'm trying to access a server remotely. I don't know if that makes sense. So I need to use either SSH ama PuTTY, but SSH will be easier because I don't need to install it. It's just more of a command, more or less. So I come and create the key pair. One time .pem. Save. Yeah, network settings. Okay. Is there really an I don't think I have an existing security group. I shouldn't, but I may have. I do. Okay. So security groups are more like firewalls, but now this is a firewall for the server in the cloud. So a firewall for an EC2 instance. And okay, the moment you create an instance, you get a VPC by default. Like lazima you configure it. There's a default VPC that is created. And when I speak of a VPC is like a virtual environment, a private environment where you are allowed to deploy your resources without anyone else from out there being able to access. So the moment you just create an EC2 instance, they create for you a default VPC. Si lazima you configure it yourself. No, they'll just do it, and then now it's up to you to do what now? Okay, it's up to you to now choose if you want to move forward with the default one they have created, or you want to create one for yourself again, so that when you come and create an instance and then they ask you to attach, you can come and pick that VPC. Yeah, so in our case, you see we have been shown a default one, this where we have also the security group. So we have picked that one, and then now we come to file system. What is this? File system S3 files. Oh, this one was just created recently, actually. Require a subnet. That's too much work. Because we usually know S3 is for object storage, but now they're allowing S3 for file storage as well. Yeah, because files and objects are two different things. Yeah, actually, it's something that hata mimi mwenyewe I haven't dived into it yet. But if you're interested, you can check it out. So let's launch the instance. Successfully created. Okay, so now let's come and look at it, and then we mount. Oh, if we finish. Oh, okay. Let me refresh. So what I now come and do is attach the volume. I think it's here under actions. Why am I not seeing it? Why am I not finding it? Okay. Status and alarms actions. This is not what I want. Oh, wacha niende kwa volumes. I probably locate it better from there. Oh, okay. So now, it's interesting. You know, it has already attached. Because now, when I look at this second one, here, you see it says in use, and then when I look at the attached resources, here is our instance. When I click on it, I think it will take me to the side of the EC2 instance. Let me look at the command we did. No, but create volume. We just created the volume. But how the volume has attached, I'm also trying to understand.
Doesn't the when you're creating an instance, doesn't it attach a volume to it, or it's the other way around?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's automatic.
So so now what we are going to attach now is that the other one that was not attached. I'm guessing so.
I've lost you at some point. So what we are going to do now is
rather than attaching the, you have seen there too. There's the one available and in use. So now we're going to also attach that one that was saying available, so that they say in use or confirm on the creation date. Time can help.
You see it's the same. So we have two volumes. One is already mounted on the instance we have created.
The one that you have mounted is the one you have created with the instance. Because if you see the time difference there, 35, and the other one was around
18. Oh, okay. So, hey, for this one, we'll have to wait. I just hope it does not take, because at times it takes time, because it has to go up to 100 and complete before we can now come to mount. Yeah.
So in the meantime, guys, feel free to ask questions while we wait for that to finish initializing.
So now this is the volume that we're coming to mount. And it's not moving. Okay. At times when you refresh, it gives you hope. Okay. 63%. This will take some time.
Kelvin was asking, what's the name of the lab we are working on?
It's called AWS flAWS. It's here. Okay, let me type it here. You see how you start. Actually, okay, these commands, to be honest, I'm not coming up with all of them from my head, because this is a lab I have done before. So, of course, there are commands that I got from people who have done the lab before, because when you come to these articles on Medium, you find there are guys who highlight the commands to use. Also with some help on troubleshooting from AI. Yeah. And also the actual lab itself, because you find also the lab has the commands here. So don't feel like it's rocket science or it's hard. So you just start out, and when you find a problem, find ways to tackle it and make sure you get to the end. Yeah, so there's this one, and then there's another one for flAWS again. It's called flAWS 2. So in flAWS 2, you have both. I have typed it wrongly. You have both the side of the attacker and the one who is the defender. Yeah, but here, like this one for today, it's only for the attacker side alone. Okay, now let's see. Where are we? Oh. Okay, in the meantime, we can look at the others. So you see here, create EC2, and in the storage options, choose the volume we just created. Did we do this? Yo, okay. Honestly, I don't even remember seeing a section for volume when we were creating the instance. Volume. Okay, let me try.
Kelvin was requesting for the links so that he can check them out later on, like for the AWS flows.
Okay. There you go. And then the second one.
So guys, as well, feel free to ask questions. Don't be afraid. Even if you're still a beginner, you're breaking into cloud security or just cloud itself, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. Even if you probably can't speak up through the mic, you can just drop questions through the chat. And, she's going to respond to that. By the way, once we are going to be through with this level, the rest of the levels are going to be a bit quicker than this one, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I am so sorry, guys.
No, it's okay, don't worry. Totally understand.
Hi, Faith.
Hi.
I'm thinking when I read the that part that says that we're required to choose the volume that we created. So I think while creating the instance, the EC2 instance, we are required to select it in that phase rather than coming and adding it after. But I don't know if it's possible to add it after.
Okay, you can mount, but okay, let me try and see. Let us try and create. Okay, let's follow the steps and see if we are going to see a section for okay. What should we call it? Let's call it Jesus. So it's Ubuntu. Why is this thing slow? So backup information. Placement group. I'm not seeing a section that clearly highlights that. I was thinking probably this section for volumes, but it looks like I'm configuring something new.
Have you maybe tried attaching the volume in the command line?
Okay, I haven't thought of that. But okay, even as a disclaimer, they usually say that attaching the volume takes time. But if they're saying the storage reference to the volume we just created. Okay. We'll just have to end at this level and then for the rest you can complete because I see time is far much spent. And yeah, when it takes too long, also the interest can disappear because it's also moving slowly. It's at 74. Hey. Okay, what we can do, let me see. If I type, there's this command for checking. So when I look at this, I am able to see the volumes. But now you see in this case, because it has not finished mounting, I can't see it. Because it should either be an there's formats. Don't know if I can find somewhere. It should either be an they're called ME and 1P1, or it should be XVDA1 or something like that. So those are the volumes those are the volume types for EBS. But now you see, when I look at mine, it has not yet come. That's why I am unable to find it here. It's only SDA1, SDA2.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The command that you have put, is it for checking in AWS or your machine?
In AWS.
But that's a machine, or am I the one who's wrong?
Which one? This boot EFI?
The command that you have put for else BLK.
But you remember up here, like, okay, wherever we have logged in. Okay, you see, when I look at this, where is it? Where we configured here. Now we are under, what's it called? We are under AWS. Or you're asking because I didn't put the word AWS, then LSBLK.
Yeah.
Okay. But from what I've always known, the LSBLK command has always functioned that way without, okay, though I could be getting something wrong because I know there's a point we'll have to SSH.
Yeah, because when he ran that command, it gives me the type of disk that are in my machine, not in
Not in. Okay. So, yeah, because what I have left out is once we are done with that section of the volume attaching, and then now I need to come and SSH into the instance we just created, and then now from there is where I can see the volumes. Yeah, my apologies. So, and then now once I see the volumes, because I've SSH into that instance, I can be able to now list the available blocks. Make sense? Yeah, my apologies. So I'm supposed to SSH, and then now the key pair that we created, the one that we called one term. So we're supposed to now come and put here that key pair, and then the IP address. Goodness. Okay, in the meantime, let us just type the command while we wait. So I need to have the access key. Did I put it somewhere? Okay, I think I downloaded it. Okay, guys, this will be the last, the last section. So once we're done with this, and then now we can just end it there. So you can go and look at metadata exposure. And also this last section, the last section involves Lambda. Lambda is a service that you can use to deploy resources without having to interact with the server. So, okay, they usually call it one of the serverless resources of AWS. You can also check into that. So, what am I looking for? So this won't help me.
I see in the chat, Jamo Karis had something that I wanted to show you.
Okay. Okay. What did he want to show? Oh. Profile volumes command. Describe volumes. This one, okay, sawa. Let's just do it, but from what I know, it will just list what exists. Yeah, it just lists, but it does not attach volume ID. Okay. Well, guys, we can just call it a night. Because the rate at which it's moving, it's really slow.
Can you try, because with the command that I've shared, can you try maybe, because we have the volume ID and the instance ID, use AWS, the command for attaching.
Okay. So what do we do now?
There's a command for attaching, it's AWS, then -- profile, then flAWS EC2 attach volume, then /.
Oh my god, it's not typing. I don't know why. Oh, come on.
Could you hit you then try to press enter to see if it's still stuck in that view?
Pardon? Did I?
You type Q and then you hit enter to see if probably just
Okay.
that view. Yeah. I guess maybe now that's its own problem. Probably have to open a new terminal.
Hey, if I open a new terminal, it won't have the history. Oh, so the problem was that terminal. I think you can repeat the command.
AWS, then -- profile, then flAWS EC2 attach volume, attach then -volume, then /
Space or continuous?
space / then -- volume ID,
Full or vol and then -ID?
volume then -ID.
Okay.
Then the ID that you saw from the command, the previous command.
The ID, the volume ID. That last one. I'm really hoping it's one because I'm seeing a couple. I think it's the same. In the word volume ID, V and I are capital.
Let me just type an example of the command in the chat so that maybe you can follow instead of just saying it.
Clarification. The volume that we are attaching, is it it's the one that we took a snapshot of, right? Oh, okay.
I've put the command in the chat.
Okay. In the chat. So, okay, where is it? Volume ID is malformed. What do they mean?
It was just an example. I think you have to.
Oh, the actual one. Okay. So. But I think it's the exact same. Okay.
Check the device.
So now for this, if I want to delete, I have to go all the way.
Have you checked the device?
It says already attached to an instance.
Okay.
Actually, we can just leave it because it's like each minute 1%, and now that means we'll have to go up to around 11:30. Yeah. So I think I'd say we can just stop there. I don't have to keep you waiting for that long, but at least you have a grasp of how it works and you can now pick it up. Or we can have another session. Yeah, and then now we complete because it's from level 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Yeah, we can still have another session like this one, so so that we can continue from where we left off. I'm sure people will be.
And actually, we'll now be coming from a point of knowledge, so it will be much easier, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So, I wanted us if anyone has a question so far, you can still drop it in the chat. But for now, since when at the start of the session, I had mentioned that today's giveaway for the Academy Cubes would be happening as we're going to be spinning the wheel so that we get the winners, the 3 winners of today's giveaway. So Oh, what was the question for that level? I see that Jamokaris was asking that question, like where are we stuck precisely? Like where are we at right now? So probably he'll go and check it out during his own free time.
Oh, okay, no, the concern is, you see here in initializing this volume for this instance, it's not yet done. So the fact that it's taking time, it has kept us waiting for long. And then now I think someone raised the question of, can we just do it on the terminal instead? Yeah, but now you see we have searched on the terminal and it tells us that the volume is already attached. So according to them, it's attached, but it's still initializing.
So like what are we supposed to do?
We have to wait. We can't hurry up the process because we're not the ones initializing. It's the system.
Like what I'm asking is the question of that particular lab.
Oh,
Like,
it was. We have the snapshot that we have gotten from someone else's account, and we're supposed to come and mount it to our EC2 instance that we have created on our own account. And that snapshot is the one that we have here. Here at the top. This one that is not this one. This one that ends with DF7, yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, Jamo. So because of time, I'd like for us to start like keying in our handles. That is the names that you want to use as you enter the giveaway. We're going to spin a wheel, and out of the 38 people that we are inside here, that's if all 38 of us want to take part in the giveaway. We're going to get the 3 winners of the Hack the Box Academic Cubes. Yeah, so you can start dropping your names, your handles, your code names on the chat. Yeah, so feel free to start dropping them right now, like on the chat, like right now, so that we can copy them and then start spinning the wheel. And as well, while people are dropping the names in the chat, does anyone have a question? But this time you just have to unmute your. Yeah, I see Alex has a question, so you can probably unmute your mic and speak.
Okay, mine is just to like ask, do you guys like have a WhatsApp group? Because I think I came to